I have plenty of everything, including my snowflake that I think I secured for next season. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I'm here to review episode 14 of the innocent Housewives of Salt Lake City. So we start the episode off with Meredith walking into her kitchen and she's meeting up with the friend of the show, Brooks, her son. And he's doing something on Microsoft Paint. He's so focused on the project that he has in front of him. And she's like, so Brooks, what are you getting yourself into tonight? What are your plans? What are you doing tonight? And then Brooks, he's just so focused on whatever he's drawing on the little iPad. I mean, you could have swore that he was Picasso or something. The way he was just like, hold on, mom, I'm doing something right now really quickly. Give me 1 second. I need to finish my eyes. This is gonna look so good. Hold on, mom, give me 1 second. I need to add the blazer because I'm working on this new collection. It's so original. You won't even recognize like the name of my brand. I'm gonna shorten it from Brooks Marks to BM. That's it, just BM. Don't you think it's so iconic and so cute and so chic? It's chic, right? Yeah. Hold on, let me finish my eyes. Hold on, let me add some touches. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready, mom? Okay, so what do you think? I'm like, what? I'm like, Brooks, if you don't go upstairs and play PlayStation or something, or go hang out with your friend. I think his name was Matthew. I'm like, it's the little thing at the bottom. It said that he belonged to Meredith. He was her assistant. And I'm like, Meredith, that is not your assistant. That's Brooks' friend. Let them go play outside in the snow together. Stop pretending that you have assistants. Eventually, he walks away. He's like, okay, mom, I'm going to go away. And Meredith, she lets us know that she's gonna have like a little girls' night with Lisa and Jenny. Jenny, she shows up to the house out of nowhere. She just walks in, she just barges in like it's nothing. I'm like, so are we not locking the doors? I mean, I could have swore a couple of episodes ago, Meredith, we saw your house from a distance and it looked kind of creepy that you were just in the middle of the hills. And for you to just leave your door unopened like that, for Jenny just to walk in. What if she was a burglar and she broke into the house and you flipped your car 5 times and you had to get eye surgery and... Hold on, y'all. I'm having flashbacks as soon as, anyways, but yeah, regardless, Jenny walks in. I love the blazer that she had on. It was green. And then Lisa, she walks in and not even 5 seconds into the camera, she's already saying some stupid shit. The first of many for this episode because she's like, oh, hey guys, hey Jenny, oh my God, Jenny, hey Jenny, Meredith, hey Meredith. And then she puts her own foot in her mouth by saying, oh Meredith, we're finally gonna get some food and drinks. Finally, we don't have to be anorexic tonight. And I'm like, oh, Lisa, wait a minute. Hold on now, like, I know you want it to be playful and everything, and you're probably excited to film a scene and stuff, but no, that is not something that you should be saying like that, or take it as a joke or taken lightly like that. It was just so off taste. But again, this entire episode to the very end, it was just a hot mess with people just putting their own foot in their mouth. But we'll get to that. And I'm just like, okay, Lisa, you settle down and sit down and have a drink or two or whatever. Eventually, Meredith, she starts talking to Jenny, and she's like, so Jenny, like, tell me about what's going on with your storyline, because I don't know, it seems like you want to go against Mary, but I'm not sure what you want to do with that. And then Jenny, she proceeds to tell Meredith and Lisa, she's like, well, my storyline, I was going to come for Mary and the whole cult thing and stuff, but I think I'm going to wait till the end of this episode when we're all together for my little event that she's having for all the women to all get together to have this peace luncheon there's no peace at all. So she's like, for now, I'm going to have to rehash the whole Dewey situation. So let's talk about it. So she talks about Dewey and the whole sister wife situation for the 100th time. And she's like, I can't believe that he even said that to me. Meredith and Lisa, they're both shocked that, he even suggested such a thing. Lisa's just like, if John was to ever suggest something like that, he wouldn't even need a sister wife. He wouldn't even have a wife because I wouldn't be there with him. All 3 of them proceed to start drinking. They're all talking. They're all laughing. They're all having a good time. And then eventually Meredith is just like, wait, Jenny, so do you not role play in the bedroom? Like, you don't pretend to be somebody else? And Jenny's like, no. I mean, do both of you do that? And Meredith is just like, oh yeah, I definitely do that. And I'm thinking like, I wonder how Meredith, will be behind closed doors pretending to be somebody else. I mean, can you imagine? She'll probably be like, hey, I mean, you like it when I'm a bad girl. You like this, huh? You like it when I do this to you? Do you like it when I talk dirty to you? I can only imagine. And then Lisa's also just like, yeah, I think that what you need, Jenny, right now, personally, you need another husband or not a sister wife, but like maybe a brother wives or a brother husband or something like that. You know, like my husband, John, he's a Scorpio. Maybe you need a Scorpio. And then Lisa's just like, oh, wait. I think we solved your issues here. Since you don't want to role play, I think we have a solution here. So then we get a montage of them putting on this black leather corset on Jenny, and then they find a blonde wig. And then the producer asks Meredith, where did you get this blonde wig from? And then Meredith, she's like, oh, I always have this with me. I'm like, Meredith, stop lying. Just say that you went up to Brooke's closet, got it, took it out, and put it on Jenny's head and call it a day. So then 2 days after Meredith's girls' night out with Jenny and Lisa, Jen, she's on her way to this restaurant to meet up with Lisa to have a one-on-one conversation after 7 months of not hearing from Lisa. And of course, in the car, she calls Heather for moral support and to manipulate her even more to stay in this toxic relationship with her. So Jen is just like, Heather, I just find it so strange that, I texted her like a year ago and she's just now getting back to me now. And it's just so strange, but you know what? It's better late than never. So I'm just going to go in there and see what happens. So then Jen, she gets to the restaurant, she sits down, and then Lisa finally shows up. Lisa's just like, oh, Jen Shaw, there she is, criminal 902658. That's you, right? That's you. Are you wearing your orange jumper yet? No, it's gonna be such a cute color on you. I believe it. And I was waiting for Jen to kind of just get up and whack her with the purse. Because I know that she's been upset at Lisa for quite some time now. So I was kind of expecting both of them to just kind of like throw each other against the table or something. But no. They both sit down, Jen, she starts the conversation, and Jen, not even 5 seconds again, and she just comes out with, Lisa, I just want to say that this whole situation has been really hard on me and my family because I'm innocent. I'm like, Jen, you really need to stop blurting out, I'm innocent every 5 seconds here. I mean, you're making it so obvious that you're hiding something and that you're trying to put it out there as much so people can see that you are innocent, when in fact, allegedly, you probably not. Has he pled guilty yet? I think he has, right? So, I don't know, all of this I'm innocent talk is just not looking good for her because she says that every 5 seconds. I mean, she was just like, okay, Lisa, I'm gonna order food really quickly. Hey, waiter, can I get the innocent French fries? Yes. And can I get a diet innocent Coke? Yeah. Oh, this jacket? Oh, this isn't Gucci. This is Innocent. It's Innocent. Yeah, it's a French luxury brand that I just got like last week. I didn't want to say it, but it's my own design. Yes, it's Innocent by me. Yeah, so can you give me that? And can you also give me this, I think it's an innocent burger? Yes, because I'm innocent. Yeah, can you just give me the innocent burger? And on the side, can you give me like some ketchup and maybe like a side of innocent with, Lisa, do you want anything else? For dessert, can I just have like the strawberry innocent? Like, that's how Jen sounds every time she says that she's innocent. She's innocent. But they get down to the root of their problem, and she's like, Lisa, I needed you when everything was going down. And even before that, you just ignored me, and I thought we were close friends. I thought we were better than that. And then Lisa, she makes it about herself. Like, Lisa is insane. But again, she knows the Housewives rules because she flips the whole situation on her, and she's like, Jen, I get that you feel hurt and everything, and I know that you said that you were working, but I was also working as well. I was a working mother and I was being a mom, so I'm sorry, give me 1 second. It's just, you're making me emotional because I needed your support as well, the same way that you needed mine, but I'm making this about myself, okay? So just give me 1 second. I'm like, okay, what are we fighting about again? I mean, they're both fighting because Jen, the whole situation that Lisa brought up, the whole Whitney situation, right? Because at this point, I'm like, if y'all don't just drop this, why are we still arguing about this? You're not even arguing about the fact that she called six lawyers, which Jen still doesn't, know, or Lisa owned up to it. I'm like, Lisa, this would have been a perfect segue for you to be like, you know what, Jen? I know you're mad about this, but let me tell you about what I did. I called 6 of my lawyers because I was a little concerned or whatever, but she didn't. She kept it to herself. And I'm like, you do know that Jen is going to have to watch all of this, and she's not going to see you in a good lighting, Lisa. So I don't know why all the women, this whole episode, just assume that the cameras are not there. Like, we are filming a TV show. What is it that we're not getting? And Lisa, she's just like, I needed a couple days. That's why I didn't text you for over 2 years and stuff, because I needed a couple days to kind of process everything that's going on and stuff. And you know what? I'm not even mad at Lisa for that because I guess you wouldn't want to jump to conclusions, even though she did jump to conclusions. Like, she didn't even jump. She like hurdled, did a backflip, and she flipped and everything into conclusions. But I guess I understand what she's saying because you would need some time to be like, okay, let me see. Let me not just jump on the, oh, you're innocent wagon. Even though Lisa told her, Jen, like, I do believe that you're innocent. No, I don't. But I do believe that you're innocent. I do actually believe you're innocent. I'm like, Lisa, you keep lying to her face to face too. Like, you don't believe that either. But regardless, Lisa apologized to Jen, which I was shocked about. I'm like, wow, I'm shocked that she even muster out to say I'm sorry to Jen or to anybody because Lisa, again, she wants to play this whole, oh, I was being manipulated or I was being blindsided by Jen. But Lisa, you are way too smart, or maybe I'm giving her too much credit for this, but I just feel like she is way too smart to, fall for Jen's antics or her BS. Unless she really does genuinely care about Jen that much. But I don't think so. I mean, she said it on her tagline, right? She said, you don't have to love me. I love myself for the both of us. So then we head over to Heather's house and she's accompanied by her brother. And this conversation that she had one-on-one with him actually made me look at Heather and the whole topic of Mormonism from a different perspective, because usually I'm just like, okay, Heather, what else are you going to talk about besides Mormonism? I mean, you already talked about it for 5 episodes in a row, but this conversation specifically was a little bit deeper and a little bit more emotional, if not more emotional than the conversation that she had one-on-one with her sister a couple of episodes ago, because he just laid it all out on the table. And we're all caught up, as an audience, looking at Jan or Mary for their alleged schemes of, Mary possibly being a cult leader allegedly, and Jen scamming people out of money allegedly, that we don't really see what's going on in the Mormonism community, that's also a cult, in itself, especially from what he was saying. I mean, he was saying that somebody married somebody at the age of 14 and he kind of opened up his eyes to it. And once Heather kind of left the Mormonism community, and he kind of held a grudge at her because, you left the Mormonism community, you left me in it, and you didn't even tell me. And she still, both of them actually, they still carry around that guilt of not being in the Mormonism community, to this day and stuff. And it just goes to show you the psychological trauma that something like that could really leave on you. Even though you have the life now that you always wanted. You're free, you're technically free, but mentally you're not free. You still have the whole, oh, I should be part of the Mormonism community. I turn my back on them. Oh, I turn my back on my dad or my family members, or they're looking at me, sideways because I decided to do something different than follow this path or this cult. Especially that came out of his mouth. I was actually shocked that that's what he addressed it at, because he was just like, Heather, I feel so guilty because I feel like I was raising my children in a cult. He told Heather that his children actually had to get dressed up in church clothes, sit in front of a computer, and actually go through church via Skype or via Zoom or via online. And I'm like, that is doing way too much. I am not about to, get dressed up in my nicest clothes with my red bottoms on and sit in front of a computer so nobody can see my outfit. Absolutely not. Heather also lets us know that if you're a part of the Mormonism community and you have certain questions to what's going on within the community, you're not allowed to ask those questions or to further seek answers, because if you do, it seems like you're betraying the Mormonism community itself. How dare you, question anything we're doing? You're just supposed to have a sheep mentality and just go with the flow of whatever we tell you to. So if we ask you to do this, you have to do this, or else you're gonna, get this or get banned or go to hell, etc., etc. And then to me, all of that is just so scary. So then we head over to Jen's house and she's doing a family prayer with her family and her assistants to Ramadan. And I actually appreciated Jen explaining the traditions that her and her family have to go through every year for Ramadan. What I didn't understand is in the confessional, she was just like, everything that's going on in my life, it's all falling apart. All these accusations of me doing this, that, and the third. It couldn't have come at a worse time in my life. But I just feel like because Ramadan is right now and it's going on as we speak, I just feel like it's truly a blessing that everything's going on together at the same time. And I'm like, what? Like, did I hear that correctly? She's just said that this whole situation that she's going through legally is a blessing only because it falls around the same time as Ramadan. Like, Jen, I don't think that's how it works. Like, I was just so confused. I'm like, okay, let me calculate what you just said right there. So after the prayer, Jen and Coach Shah, her husband, decide to have a sit-down conversation about everything that's going on. And Coach Shah, he was trying to, be uplifting to Jen and everything. But I don't know, I feel like he was trying to send codes to her undercover. Like, he was being so deep about everything, and I will hope that he's a good man and he doesn't know about what Jen is doing behind his back, maybe. But everything that he just kept saying to Jen just sounded so suspicious, because he was just like, Jen, we have to get a smaller house in Mexico. I think that, we need to downsize everything in a different country. I think that we should, move forward as soon as possible. And I think that in life, things are gonna happen, but we need to run away from the cops quickly. But, I think that we're gonna get through this. I really do think so. I think sometimes we need to transform in life to get to higher things in life. AKA, I'm gonna transform myself into a whole new identity. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go by Joseph and you're gonna go by Samantha. So we need to get those passports and leave Salt Lake City as soon as possible, quickly. Like, that's all I felt like when he was talking to her. Like, he was trying to throw out, like, okay, you get what I'm trying to tell you right now, right? Like, I'm trying to sugarcoat it for these cameras, but underneath that, there's a different tone to it. But, again, I really, really, really hope that Coach Shaw is innocent in all of this, because I actually like him as the husband. He's one of the coolest husbands to come onto the franchise, so I'll be so disappointed if he had any part in Jen's schemes, alleged schemes, if it's all found guilty. Surprisingly, Lisa and Whitney, they decide to meet up one-on-one, but their location for a meetup was very interesting, because Lisa, she arrives at this cave that they're going to do like yoga or something on paddleboards on top of a lake, inside a cave with a hole at the top. I'm like, nope. I've seen the movie The Descent like many, many times. If you haven't seen that movie already, I suggest you see that to see what I'm talking about. But I've seen that movie, and I see that if you go down a cave like that with a hole at the top, you might get stuck, and then next thing you know, there's a bunch of alien-looking things coming at you to eat you. So no, absolutely not. Especially knowing that Lisa and Whitney, both of you kind of hated each other just not too long ago, and you're about to go inside of a cave where you could potentially just throw a body in the water and just kind of walk away from it. No. But they decide to meet up there, and then Lisa, she's going around, she's like, oh my God, like, this is so cute. Am I gonna get my hair wet? Am I gonna get my hair wet? This is so cute. Is Jenny here? Is that Jenny up there? Oh, that's so cute. And then Whitney shows up. Whitney, she's a little scared because Jen and she threatened to drown her last year. So she's like, I don't want Lisa drowning me this time around, but I don't think she'll drown you. She'll just throw you underneath the bus at all. That's all she's gonna do. But they get down to, exercising. Lisa, she falls in the water. I think Whitney falls in the water. And then we get down to the nitty gritty. And they both start talking. And then Whitney, she tells Lisa that she actually, had a conversation with Cameron through Angie, because Angie gave her, his Instagram, his TikTok, his Facebook. So she added him on everything. And she, did a couple duets on TikTok with him and stuff. And she got down to getting more information about Mary. And then Lisa, she did not like that. Lisa's like, wait, why is she going around, talking to my friends and people that I know? I mean, it's one thing for me to have a one-on-one conversation with him, but why are you doing it? And I'm like, Lisa, why are you nervous, huh? Are you hiding something from this? I mean, who cares, right? I mean, Whitney, if you're going to accuse her of doing something, she might as well go out there and do it. Just like Keisha Cole said, as much as you accuse me of lying, I might as well have. So that's exactly what Whitney did. You're going to accuse her of just doing X, Y, and Z, so she might as well get down to the root of the problem, right? And go to Cameron herself. And then she basically is just like, Mary and her husband, they're predators. And I'm like, what does that mean? And she's like, they use the whole boogeyman tactic and they scare people into getting what they want. And I'm like, the way Whitney describes things is very, very scary. I'm like, what exactly are they doing at that church? And how true is it? Because Lisa's like, I did ask her if she was, playing God to the people that go to her church. And she said no, but I don't know. She says, oh, if you mess with the people at my church, or if you mess with my church, look what happens to you. You end up in jail. And then Whitney, in her confessional, she's also like, I don't really feel comfortable, because the producer asked her, so do you feel like, disclosing what went on between you and Cameron on the conversation? But Whitney, she's scared, and she's like, no, I don't want to put my family in danger, because, I didn't want to tell you this, but I'm going to watch the Teletubbies when I get home. So if I tell you, something might happen to me and I might not be able to watch it. And I was really looking forward to seeing Teletubbies. The yellow one is my favorite. I'm like, Whitney, just say it. I mean, if you're going to make a whole storyline out of it, why don't you just open up your mouth and just say it? I mean, what is so scary about Mary and her possible cult. I mean, I don't know. It is terrifying though. If Whitney can't say it, Lisa could barely say it. What exactly is going to happen if they do open their mouth? I mean, is Mary going to send people to her house or something to do something to her? I mean, it could be because she did say, oh, I don't want to put my family in danger. So I don't know. Very, very terrifying. So we finally get to Jenny's event that she's having at this park. Ironically, the park is called Peace Park. I'm like, there's no peace about to happen at this park. But Jenny, she's setting up the table and she lets us know that in her culture, to have this type of luncheon and to have peace within the group, certain individuals have to be sitting in certain seats. She says this and then proceeds to go, you know what? I think I'm going to put Jen right in the middle of Lisa and Whitney, and I'm going to put Meredith and Mary right across from her, just in case Jen decides to throw a drink at Meredith. I'm going to put Lisa next to me just in case I want to fight too. And I'm going to put Heather at the end because I know she's not going to do anything. I'm like, Jenny, if you truly wanted peace within the group and, you know, the seating mattered, you would have sat everybody accordingly. But I wasn't mad at you because we got a really good luncheon. And then meanwhile, we get Heather, Whitney, and Jen. They're all together finally. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I think this is the first time that Whitney has sat down with Jen. And then we get a little flashback when Jen was telling Whitney at Beauty Lab 3 days ago or a day ago and was saying, oh, everybody turned their backs on me. I can't believe this. My true friends, I don't have any anymore because this entire situation has really opened up my eyes to who really is there around me. And then Whitney, she's like, you know, it's just so funny because people, when they're going through bad stuff, you have to have friends, you know, like besties, like best friends, like BESTFRIE number 3 NDZ, best friends. And I just feel like I need to be there for Jen. You know, like I can't kick her while she's down. They're all having a little brunch before the actual luncheon. And then Meredith and Lisa, they show up to Jenny's event and they're all talking about Dewey. They're like, oh, so what's going on with that storyline? Are you going to drop it or are you going to continue it? I mean, what are you going to bring for season 3 if you come on? Because that can't be your only storyline. And Jenny's like, I know, I get it. Just give me like a couple seconds because I'm about to start a fight with Mary in a couple minutes. So just give me a second. I'm going to try to hold on to my snowflake. And then here comes the other trio, you know, Charlie's Angels. We see Jen, Whitney, and Heather. They're stumbling into the park, and Meredith, it looks could kill because she's having a good time talking to Jenny, and she looks over and she's like, "Is that Jennifer Shaw?" Jenny, what did I say? I told you if she was gonna come, do not invite me. Is that Jen? And then Jenny, she was so shook. Jenny was just like, yeah, don't hit me. Yeah, that's her. And then Meredith, I mean, I get it, Meredith, that you have this issue, this ongoing issue with Jen, but the thing is, you can't ice her out of the group because she is a huge storyline to the show. And I just feel like in all the Housewives franchise, you can't ice another cast member out. That's just not how this show goes. If you have a conflict with her, you have to stay in it. Either you stay or just get the fuck off the show. So Meredith, you have to pick your poison because you can't just be making rules like, oh, if she's not going to be there, if she's going to be there, I can't be there either. That's not how this show works. If that was the case, none of the women on the show would show up to film because they will all hate each other. But we need a show, Meredith, so you're either in it or you're not. You're either going to be stressed or not. Like, you want to be on TV or not? What's going on here? But, you know, Meredith, she just gave a whole fake thing to Jen because as soon as Jen pulled out, she was getting closer and closer, and Meredith was just like, I can't stand her. Look at her. Oh my God. She just looks like she's going to jail. I can't believe this. Like, I'm really, hey, hi, Jen. How are you, baby? Oh my God. Your clothes are so cute. Mwah. Give me a kiss. Mwah. Mwah. Oh, you're so adorable. Your hair looks so nice. I can't believe this. Look at those shoes. So nice. Brooke says hi, by the way. He says, how are you doing? Yeah. No, he says he wants to collaborate with you with his future projects. So I'm just telling you that everything is nice. It's so nice to see you. Like, so fake and so phony. But I'm like, okay, again, you have to do what you got to do to keep the show going. All the women finally sit down to have drinks, to have conversation. There's a lot of tension within the table. I mean, you can almost cut it with a knife, right? And then Mary, she finally shows up last. She sits down. And then I believe it was Lisa. Lisa was like, oh my God, I love your hair. You're blonde now. It's so nice. We just put Jenny in a blonde wig. Ha, ha, ha. And then Mary, this is where it started with her and Heather putting their foot in their mouth because Mary was just like, oh, you were blonde for a second? They put a blonde wig on you? Yeah, you do have the yellow tone, the yellow skin tone for it or whatever. And I'm like, Mary, what? Like, I just cringed the entire time. I'm like, not again, Mary. Like, we just went through this. Well, was it last week or the week before that with her comment about Mexicans and stuff? And I'm like, now you're saying this about Jenny? And then you could tell Jenny was pissed the second that she heard that, because she was like, wait, what? She made a face, but she didn't say anything. And then Lisa, she takes out her phone and she proceeds to show everybody the picture of Jenny in the blonde wig. And then she shows it to Mary and Heather. And then Heather's the second one to put her foot in her mouth, because Heather's just like, oh yeah, you look like an anime character. And I'm like, Heather, what? Like, again, that is not something that you say to people like that. Like, no, it just sounds so stereotypical. I mean, I would hope that, you know, Mary and Heather, they didn't mean it that way. And maybe it was just like an ignorant mistake that they just let slip out of their mouth or something. And I don't know, because I feel like Mary, I feel like she wasn't trying to be malicious about it, but you just cannot say some stupid shit like that. Because then Mary, then she jumps in and she's like, oh, she's looking at the picture. She's like, yeah, Jenny, I like your slanted eyes. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, can we just call it quits with this lunch right here and there? Like, you know, between Mary and Heather playing tennis on who could say the worst things to Jenny, I'm just like, this is not cute. This is not a good look for either one of you. And then, Jenny, she was pissed about it because then she heard Mary's comments. I don't know why she didn't react to Heather's comment, but she reacted to Mary's, and she's like, you're not, in her confessional, she was just like, you're not supposed to say that to people, you know, or to me like that. You can't say, oh, you like my slanted eyes, as if it's some type of fetish. Because let's say that it was the other way around and Jenny said something about Mary and like, oh, yeah, I like your so-and-so or something stereotypical, it would not be a good look. It would be a huge backlash as well, you know, especially, it's just really not a good look for you to be saying things like that. And I wish that Jenny would have addressed it right then and there, or somebody at the table would have addressed it right then and there too. I'm like, so nobody is hearing this and nobody's thinking, red flag, let's stop our friends from saying any more dumb shit on camera or to one of each other. But nobody said anything. So I'm like, okay, well, that was concerning to see where the group and their mentality, where it lies. But you know, again, Mary and Heather, and then Lisa, for your comment at the beginning of the episode saying the whole anorexic thing, all three of you, just a mess. Mary is sitting right next to Heather, so both of them start talking about their issues in Vail, and, you know, they kind of squash everything. They're like, okay, let's just cheers to everything. We're friends again, right? Yeah, I like your outfit. I love your fur jacket. Yeah, it's so cute. So they're kind of making up and everything, and then Jen and Whitney, they're seeing this, and Whitney, she's getting pissed about it, and she whispers over to Jen. She's like, I don't know about you, but they seem very fake. Everything around here seems so fake, right? Like, this is just very high schoolish, and I don't like it. I thought me and Heather were bad weather, and now her and Mary, like, what is this? They're not even gonna have a catchy duo name like me and her, so I don't know what's going on. They're so fake. And then Mary, even though she says the most ignorant stuff that comes out of her mouth, the way she gathers everybody on the show, she was just like, Whitney, yeah, are you sure? Are you talking about me, babe? No. You're saying that things are fake? Are you sure that we're being fake, or you're being fake? And I'm like, yikes! Like, come on, Whitney, say it with your chest now. You know, go up against Mary 101 now. You know, you have your whole squad that you needed apparently to take her down. So here we are. Here's a moment. And Whitney's just like, you know, I just think it's all fake that we're all just getting along because they were all just having casual conversation, as if everything in Vail just did not happen. You know, so I could kind of see what Whitney was saying, but again, for you to just be whispering and just say it out loud to everybody. And then Jenny, she jumps in and Jenny's just like, look, Jen, like, I just want to be honest with you. We all talk shit about your back. Like, we all say that you have fake Versace outfits and everything. Like, those Chanel earrings that you were wearing the other week, they were completely fake because we saw that they stained your neck green. We were talking a lot of shit about you. You know, we really were. And we got a bunch of articles texted to us in a group chat. And I'm not even going to lie to you, Jen. I did participate in the group chat. I did send a couple emojis, you know, a couple police cars emojis, a couple LOLs. You know, I thought it was funny and stuff. And then Jen, and she's like, wait, who sent you these articles? Who sent you these articles? And then Lisa almost choked on her po that she was having because she was just eating and she was just like, Whitney, it was Whitney. Whitney sent the article. It was Whitney, the one right next to you, Whitney. Like, Lisa could not wait to throw Whitney underneath the bus again. I'm like, you act as if I recall, you all were all on the bus and all of you wanted the messages to be sent to your phone. So I'm confused. Even Jenny was just like, oh yeah, I'm not in that group chat. Can you add me in the group chat so I can also get the article? So I'm not sure why we're painting out Whitney to be a bad person when all she did was just follow orders from what everybody else wanted. And she just wanted to inform everybody. So I don't get why it's a bad thing. They all start going back and forth with each other again. So I'm like, okay, Whitney and Lisa, that's obviously out the window again because they start bickering back and forth. Jen is just sitting there in silence. Meredith, she's quiet. And Jen in her confessional, she's like, I can't believe that they're all arguing about who said the most bad things about me behind my back. Because that's exactly what it was. I mean, Whitney jumped in and she's like, no, I did not say that. I said she looked a mess prior to going to jail. Yeah. No, I said she looked a mess before we even got on the bus. You're so silly, Lisa. And then Lisa, she's jumping in and she's like, no, Whitney. No, you said that she had on fake Gucci boots the other day. No. And you said she looked atrocious and that her house didn't look nice. You said she didn't even clean around the house. Like, no, you're lying. Jenny, she's also jumping in and Jenny's like, no. Jen, I'm sorry. I did not say what they're saying. I called you a bitch. I did not call you what she's claiming I called you. No. And then Heather, she's also whispering, but she's also taking a sip of her drink. And Heather's just like, no, Jen, I didn't say anything. All I said was if I look like Shrek, well, I'm just going to say that you look like the prince from Shrek, the first one. That's all I said. And then they all just continue bashing Jen in front of her. And then Mary had the audacity to say, wait, Jen. I did not speak anything about you. I didn't speak ill on your name. I didn't say anything about you. No, I didn't say anything about you. I didn't say anything bad about you. Jen, I'm a true friend to you. And then Jen, she bought into it because she hasn't seen the footage, but Jen was just like, Thank you for that. Thank you. And then Heather in her confessional, I'm like, Heather, what are you? Kyle from Beverly Hills? Because she was just like, Mary, you were talking so much shit. And then they played the video, the footage, as if it's not going to be played at the reunion. Mary, what are you thinking? And she's like, wait a minute. Mary was talking a lot of shit and saying she's not surprised. She always knew and she always got a bad vibe from Jen. But I'm like, Heather, what does all that matter if you're saying it in your confessional? You should have said it right then and there next to Mary. You were right next to her in front of the group. Why didn't you say anything at all? It's just like, ugh. Heather, like you could have had a moment right there, but you didn't. You probably got caught up in the whole, me and Mary just made up just a couple seconds ago. I don't want to go back and forth with her again. So let me just kind of pretend like I didn't hear that. And I'm just like, well, everybody else at the table heard the same thing about Mary too. How come nobody else said anything either? And again, just like I said at the beginning of the review, the women are filming this show as if they're not being filmed. Like maybe Mary genuinely did forget that she said all that, bad stuff about Jen on the trip, but eventually they're all good. Every single one of them are gonna have to be addressed at the reunion. Mary starts grilling Jen with all these questions face to face, and she's like, Jen, so you didn't know about the situation? Like the FBI, the police, they just chose you and Stuart just to come at you for what reason? And Jen, you could tell she was getting a little worried because in her head, she's like, okay, I need to answer correctly in front of all these cameras or else I'm gonna put my own foot in my mouth. And she's like, no, I have no idea why they came after me. This is all a huge mistake. But Mary was just not letting up. She was just like, I just don't understand though. Why would it be a mistake? I mean, did you know about anything that was going on? I mean, are you guilty? Are you innocent? Jen, again, she is stumbling on everything she's saying. She's just like, no, I'm innocent. I don't know anything that's going on. This is just a really bad thing. And then she starts tearing up and her voice starts cracking. I'm like, no, Jen, don't try to deflect and try to get all emotional now. Mary is on your ass about, you possibly being guilty in all of this, and she's just not buying the whole innocent and crying act or whatever. So I was just like, okay, Mary, continue on. She should have been the host for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. I mean, Andy did a decent job, but Mary, she was just not taking her foot off the pedal with Jen. And then Lisa, of course, she just kept trying to make it about herself. She just kept jumping in. And then I wasn't mad with Mary. She was just like, Lisa, can you just be quiet? I'm trying to talk to Jen one-on-one. You keep trying to jump in and make it about yourself, because that's exactly what Lisa always does. For some reason, to make a good show. She always makes it about herself, or she tries to deflect everything away from her. So that's what she was doing. But Mary, she wasn't having any of it because obviously Mary is not Whitney. She's just not going to let anybody bulldoze her like that. So she was just like, Lisa, stop, calm down. You were talking shit about Jen too. And then Lisa was just like, no, what do you mean? I was never talking bad about Jen at all. I never said anything. I didn't call my lawyers. My lawyers called me. They wanted to check up to see if I was having a good weekend. I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? And I'm like, Lisa, again, you're on camera doing this. You're on camera doing this. What's going on here? So they kept going back and forth. And I was like, oh, so this is where the whole drift between Mary and Lisa happens. And Mary is just like, you know what, Jen? You want to know something? Lisa said that I was going to be the second you. I was going to be Jen number 2, that I'm doing this, that I'm doing that. And she was the one that was really talking shit about you. I'm like, damn, Mary's just airing everything out. More power to her because Heather and Whitney, they both look like 2 lost puppies just sitting there like, okay, I'm not going to look up. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm not going to look up. Like, come on now, say something. This is your opportunity to shine. And neither one of you are saying anything. And then Whitney's like, can we just stop? Can we just let Mary talk and like just have a conversation with Jen? Everybody just calm down. And then Lisa, as soon as she heard Mary say, oh yeah, I'm nothing but honest. I don't judge anybody. And I'm like, okay, I was with Lisa with that one because I'm looking at you, Mary, like, you don't judge, you said? Like, that's all you've been doing this entire season. You're very judgmental and you look down at people and you belittle them. So I'm not sure what you were trying to portray to Jen, but I'm not buying it. Lisa was just like, you know what? This is a bunch of bullshit. Like, this is just ridiculous. All of you are just so fake. And then as soon as she said, all of you are just so fake, the mummy herself, Meredith, she woke up from her trance because she was just sitting there the whole time like, and as soon as she heard fake, she was just like, wait. Hold on, I'm waking up from my slumber right now. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. What you're not about to do, Lisa, is call me fake. I have been a very good friend, so do not call me fake. I have just been sitting here, so please do not say anything about me, okay, Lisa? Keep it over there. Me and you may look alike, but you better stop because you don't know what I'm capable of. And then Heather, she finally speaks up too, and she's like, whoa, no. Don't get mad at us because now you're being put to the fire. That's on you, Lisa. That's on you. And I'm like, okay, see, that's what we need from you, Heather. Like, jump in. And then Mary, she also calls out Whitney and Heather because she's like, well, both of you were there when Lisa was talking shit about Jen, right? Like, did we not hear that? Where's your backbone? And then again, both of them 2 lost puppies because they were just like, we don't have backbones. We don't know what that is. We just both have kind of like a spine, but it's connected together. So like, we don't really have a backbone, Mary. That's what they should have answered because neither one of them said anything. And then Jenny, this is when Jenny just lost it because Jenny, she was probably like, okay, enough of this bullshit. I was there. I know exactly what happened. So she jumps in and she's like, you know what? No. This is a bunch of bullshit. Mary, you know exactly what you said about Jen. You were talking just as much shit as everybody else about Jen to our faces in the group setting. So I don't know why you're bullshitting now. Mary, she tried to do what she was trying to do with Whitney and Lisa and try to push her against the wall or whatever. But Jenny, she was just not having it. Jenny was just like, no, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to you, Mary. And Mary's just like, no, you're not going to talk to me that way. You need to relax, like relax, stop all the screaming. And Jenny, again, just not having it. She just bulldozed through Mary's entire words. And for the most part, between this feud of Mary and Jenny, I haven't really been on Jenny's side because Jenny did start with Mary back at the snow trip that they took at the beginning a couple episodes ago when she was just like, oh, you need to shut the fuck up. But in this moment, I was on team Jenny because again, Mary does try to belittle everybody when she has a confrontation or she doesn't agree with them. So Jenny, I was glad that she finally somebody on the cast stuck up to her and was just like, I'm not having any of your bullshit. I expected Lisa to be that person, but surprisingly, Lisa really couldn't keep up with Mary. Mary was just like, no, I'm going to stomp you out too. But Jenny, she was the right one. And she was just like, you know what? I don't care about you, Jenny. I don't care. So, not Jenny, but Mary. She was like, I don't care about you, Mary. I don't care. So if you want to go, there's the gate. And Mary's just like, you know what? I'm not going to be called a liar. Even though that's exactly what you just proved at this luncheon, that you're a liar because you did talk shit about Jen. Again, the cameras will roll at the reunion, Mary. So I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if she, or maybe I had a dream about this, that Mary did post something online saying, oh yeah, at the time I didn't remember that I said that about Jen. Is that true or not? Or did I just make it up in my head? Or did I dream about it? Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but Mary is just like, I'm not about to be called a liar. That's where I crossed the line. Like, no, you're doing way too much. I could be called a cult leader, a this, a that, a scammer, everything, but you're not gonna call me a liar. And I'm like, okay. So she gets up, she walks away, and as Mary is walking away with Meredith in her confessional, she's like, oh, I just can't stand Jenny right now. I really wanted to backhand her. Like, I just cannot stand her. And, you know, Jenny, she had also made a similar comment earlier in her confessional when she was just like, you know, for the slanted eye comment, I really wanted to just tackle her and beat her ass down. And, you know, the whole dynamic between the group, it's getting to the point where, I don't know, somebody's going to come to blows with somebody on this cast, because it just seems like it's everybody versus everybody. And the tension is just brewing and brewing and brewing. And again, from what we saw in the preview to the mid-season trailer, we see that I believe it's Jen who attacks Lisa on the bus, but we don't know how that situation escalates. But you know, again, it's just a lot of tension between the group. So Meredith, she takes Mary to the side, and then Jen, she's back at the table, and then Lisa, she's still making it about herself, and Lisa's just like, I just can't believe this. Like, this whole situation caused me to have PTSD. Like, I just can't believe the whole situation. Like, Jenny, like, can you believe this, Jenny? Like, I can't believe it. And then Jen, she's like, well, how do you think that this makes me feel? I also have PTSD. Jen has had enough, so she gets up and she's like, you know what? No, I'm done with this. I'm leaving. Goodbye. So she walks away, and then Mary, she sees Jen coming her way. So Mary goes up to her and she's like, baby, come over here. Baby girl, come over here. Come over here. No, I got you. No, I know they're a bunch of liars. I get it. Come over here, baby girl. Let's go and sit down. So as they're sitting down, the first thing that Mary, that comes out of her mouth, she's like, you know what, Jen? I do honestly believe, I do think that you're guilty. I mean, innocent. When I tell y'all, I died of laughter the second that it slipped out, because Jenna was just like, wait, what? Like, there's just no way that you accidentally slip up and say guilty instead of innocent. She tried to clean it up so quickly, and the reason why the truth probably came out is because in her confessional a couple seconds ago, she was just like, do I want to believe that she's innocent? Yeah. Is she innocent? No. So again, Mary, there you go again, giving Jen false hope in this friendship that you have with her, that you're lying to her face, saying that, you know, you want her to be innocent, but deep down inside, you know better. So, you know, if you think that everybody else at the table is a liar, that makes you a bigger liar. Everybody's a liar on the show. Like, at this point, it's just ridiculous. And then we head back over to the table. Lisa, she's still making it about herself. Meredith, she managed to make her way back over to the table. And Lisa's just like, Meredith, I just can't believe this. I just had enough about all of this. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's just always making it about me. Everybody just keeps coming at me. It's always me. Like, everybody's just counting Lisa Bartles at this point in their sleeves. And then Meredith, she had enough. And she's just like, you know what? I cannot believe that all of you did this to Jennifer Shaw. All of you have claimed that you're her friend, and here you are bashing her to her face. I thought this was about, you know, being nice to her and everything. I don't have to say anything to her because, well, I'm not really friends with her, and I didn't want to be here because of her. But to all of you, shame on you. I'm very disgusted. I'm very appalled. It wasn't appealing to me, and it's just it's disgusting how all of you women acted to Jen, somebody that you claim that you're friends with. So Meredith proceeds to walk away. She's like, no, I'm leaving. I'm done with this event. Lisa, I've been hearing you scream for the past 2 hours. I can only imagine how much bickering Lisa was doing with everybody. I mean, we only got to see it for like maybe 10 minutes, but imagine the actual footage that they were actually filming. Like, the camera crew was probably like, okay, can we like speed this up? I want to go home and have dinner. Like, I've been hearing this woman scream for 3 hours now, but I'm still on the clock. Meredith, she walks away. Lisa goes after her. She's like, no, please, no. Meredith, it's just, the thing is, you're always defending Mary. You never defend me. Like, what do I need to do to prove to you? I thought we were friends for 10 years. Like, I just can't believe that you're always just defending Mary and never me. Everybody was just attacking me just now, and you had nothing to say. And you know what? Lisa did make a good point, because Meredith is always defending Mary, but she never really sticks up for Lisa. She kind of lets Lisa fight her own battles, but it's almost like she's in a trance or something to Mary or something. Like, Meredith, do you want to tell us something that we don't know? Like, does she have you in a spell or something that, you know, she uses in her cult or whatever back in her church? Like, what's going on here? And then Meredith is just like, no, I'm leaving regardless. Like, I'm done with this. Like, you could defend yourself. And Lisa, she starts begging her like it's a relationship. And she was just like, no, please, Meredith. I promise I'll change. Like, we can make this work. Like, I promise. Like, hold on, no, I don't want to cry. I'll give you a bottle of Vita. How about that? 2 bottles of Vita. Like my vodka, I'll give you 2. Like, what do you say? Like, can you please just stay for me? Pick me. Choose me. Like, pretend, I know you're Meredith, but pretend that I'm Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy. Like, pick me. Choose me, Meredith. And then Meredith's just like, you know what? You got me. Make it 3 bottles of Vita and I'll stay. So then Meredith and Lisa, they decide to go back to the table. Jen and Mary, after Mary lied to her face, they decide to also come back to the table. And everybody's like, okay, let's all sit down and let's make this about Jen because we all made this about ourselves and we got into it with each other instead of making it about Jen. And Jen is like, yes, that's all I'm asking for because, you know, I'm a very innocent woman. And then this is where Jen lost me again. I mean, everybody lost me this episode because Jen was just like, you know, I'm very innocent and I put that, I can tell that I'm innocent because I put that on my husband's life and my children's life. And I'm like, Jen, let's not take it too far. I mean, you could lie to the cameras, but don't get your family involved or don't speak that into existence like that because I know that her children are probably watching this from home, like watching this episode like, why does mom have to drag me into this bullshit? Like, this is her problem. She's the one that's going to jail. Why she needs to put my life at stake? Like, that was just terrible, 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 terrible. And then Heather, she tries to have a deep moment with everybody. She's like, you know, everybody here, you know, everybody's on Jen's side. Jen, she has the people in her corner. And then Mary, Mary, she's just looking down. And as soon as Heather says that, Mary's just like, no, she doesn't. She just has like the perfect timing with certain things that comes out of her mouth that comes out correctly. Like, that was one of them. I'm like, Mary, you're hilarious. But they all agreed to like squash everything. That was that. And I mean, I know that this was supposed to be Jenny's peace event and stuff, but I mean, even she got into it and was cursing up a storm and everything. So the peace, it just flew out the window. I mean, we never got to it, but it was crazy. It was intense. And that was that, y'all. That was the episode. What did y'all think about it? It was very intense. It was literally everybody versus everybody. And you know what? That's an interesting thing about the cast dynamic here, that it's not a clique thing. It's not like, oh, it's 5 women versus 1. It's kind of like everybody's a free-for-all here. It's like, okay, I could go against you, but I could take you on. And I'm going to take you on the next episode. And in 2 episodes, I'm going to be feuding with you. So it's just like everybody's taking turns with each other. You know, instead of having the typical gang up on one person. So that's an interesting dynamic. But again, what did y'all think about this episode? I mean, whew. And it's only going to get even more intense as the season continues all the way to the end. I mean, can you imagine how the reunion is going to be? I mean, whew, it's just going to be receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt. Because again, the women just assume that all this footage is just going to be lost and not going to be aired out to the audience and to the public and for each other to watch. So that should be interesting. And one more thing. I wanted to, hold on, let me do it with my little hat. I wanted to wish everybody a nice, happy, safe holiday. Oh, my head is huge. But I wanted to wish everybody a nice holiday. Oh, this is nice. This is Versace, y'all. Psych. I wanted to wish everybody a happy holiday wherever you are, whoever you're around with. I hope you feel loved and I hope you feel warm and I hope you have a great week or a great weekend. So, you know, I'm sending my love to you. And with that being said, again, let me know what y'all think about the episode down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Bye, y'all. Happy holidays, my little ho-ho-hos. Mwah.